Hello, everyone. My name is Sanket Santosh, and I'm the current ASU president at Lee High School. And with me, I have Ms. Butler, Lee's amazing principal. Welcome to our Q&A session. Here, we will be addressing important questions relating to the remainder of the school year, specifically upcoming activities, graduation, the recently developed distance learning approach, and academics as a whole.
All right, thank you, Sanket. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to start us off and ask Sanket a question around what are the things that we know are for sure canceled?
Definitely. So first off, school for the rest of the year is definitely canceled. We also have CASP testing, which is canceled. The PSAT for sophomores is canceled, as well as our spring sports season.
Unfortunately, all things that we would love to have had, but what is still a possibility?
All right, for possibilities, definitely some type of a graduation ceremony is being looked at right now, as well as a senior awards ceremony. The two Spirit Weeks that we have coming up, Spring Fling and Summer Send-Off Week, as well as the very senior events at the end of the year.
So just to get a little bit more detail, Sanket, what would that mean for our graduation and our senior awards?
Right. So for graduation and senior awards, seniors will definitely still get their diploma, but as I said before, options for a graduation ceremony are currently being looked at. We are still in the process of putting out both scholarships, and we are still identifying seniors for senior awards.
Fantastic. So seniors, be on the lookout for that. I believe counselors might be sending out emails asking you to consider applying for scholarships now. And you will hear more information around senior awards and who is being nominated for which award. So let's get to something that I think everybody wants to hear about, Sanket, and that's prom. What
Mhm.
can you tell us?
Right. Definitely the thing that is on the majority of seniors and juniors' minds. So for prom, please refer to the email sent out by Dr. Rowe, our amazing activities director, for information regarding prom. And if you have additional questions regarding prom, please feel free to ask any questions that you may have, and we will do our best to address them at the next Q&A session.
Fantastic. And I think later on, we'll tell you where you can find the link to that Google form where you can ask questions to Sanket and I. And it will also be in the email that I will include it where I've embedded this video. So another thing I'm sure our seniors are wondering about are the activities that they generally enjoy at this time of year, including Senior Sunset. So what are some thoughts around that?
Definitely. So senior sunset is up to our current senior class officers. There is still a possibility over the summer, and we would like things to happen over the summer if the restrictions are lifted. And as of right now, virtual options for a senior sunset are being looked at right now.
Wonderful. And that brings to mind then the Spring Fling and Summer Send-Off Week. You mentioned that those were still possibilities. What might those look like from a virtual perspective?
Definitely. So Spring Fling and Summer Send-Off Week will be both virtual, so please be on the lookout for publicity and anything like that put out by ASB for what both the Spring Fling and Summer Send-Off Week will look like.
Is it safe to say that there'll be information posted in the Longhorn Activities Google Classroom?
Definitely, yeah. If you go onto the Lee website, there is a subsection entitled Longhorn Activities, and there is a code to join the Google Classroom. So please go ahead and check that out on the Lee website, and there are a bunch of Longhorn challenges and activities for you to do during this quarantine.
Wonderful, that's great to hear. And so I think the other thing I've gotten some questions about is yearbook.
Mhm.
Do we know if it's going to be completed and will students still be able to buy one?
Right. So yes, the yearbook team is very busy working to meet their last deadline. We still don't really know yet how we will be able to distribute all of the yearbooks that people have paid for, but yearbooks can still be purchased through the Lee Webster on the Lee website.
Great.
All right, perfect. So that was about activities and student life for the remainder of the school year, but let's shift the focus to academics. So, Ms. Butler, what will our schedule look like when we come back from break?
Right now, we are working on finalizing the schedule. There's quite a bit that's gone into this to determine a structure that's going to be consistent for everyone, but also provide flexibility for both students and for staff. My plan is to have something to send out either later today on Friday or at the latest early next week during the break.
Awesome, sounds good. So, for this new approach, is attendance for our classes mandatory?
Yes. So this is when we are shifting gears from the supplemental and optional work that we've been doing and moving into mandatory attendance and work. So what is that going to look like? It's not going to look like attending class every single day. There will be a menu of options to show how you have attended school for that week. When I send out the schedule, those options and that information will be included. And so just be on the lookout for, what does that mean? How am I going to plan my time? What kind of a schedule am I going to create for myself, so that you have that important structure that you're going to need as we finish out the year.
All right, sounds good. And how will attendance be taken now that you say that this is all going to be mandatory?
Yeah, it is going to look different. So it's not going to be the usual, is a student present? Are they tardy? Are they absent? It is going to be marked with a Z. So each of your teachers are going to be looking at what you are doing that week. And once you have done one of the things that qualifies as having attended class for the week, they will mark a Z for you for that particular week of school. And then we'll be running weekly reports so that we can follow up with any students that we see are not participating on a regular basis. Because of course, the goal is for everyone to be able to pass their classes and graduate at the end of the year.
Sounds good. Okay. Will the assignments posted by all teachers be mandatory and graded?
Yes, so that is also a difference from what we've been doing these past couple of weeks. So any assignments that are posted, just like if we were going to school on a regular basis at Lee, are mandatory and will be graded. So be sure you are checking School Loop, Google Classroom, or Canvas, depending upon what your teacher was using before we left. Some teachers may be switching to Canvas because there is some curriculum that is available to them, but they will let you know that that is where you can find your assignments.
Perfect. Okay. This next question is something that I'm sure that a lot of students are worrying about. What information is there about how teachers can provide testing?
That is something that is going to be a challenge for everyone, I think. We are all new to this distance learning, and I have a feeling that a lot of assessments are going to become project-based. It can be difficult to put out an authentic assessment and know that each student is completing their own work and doing it individually. So I have a feeling students are going to see more projects coming out from their teachers that will serve as assessments and a way for them to show their learning.
Sounds good. Okay. So talking about these assessments, if they become more project-based, are students going to be required to do video conferencing to work in groups?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, due to these restrictions, we really can't require that. So I'm anticipating that the projects will be individual. Should some of the restrictions be lifted that we noted earlier, where there is no shelter in place and maybe small groups can congregate, I could see where teachers might shift to a group opportunity to provide not only an academic setting, but also a social one, which I know is much needed. But we'll have to wait to see if any of the restrictions are lifted.
Okay. And for next year's juniors, how can they still be able to get practice for the PSAT or NMSQT and or the SAT since the PSAT for current sophomores was canceled?
Absolutely. We will still offer the PSAT 10 or 11, sorry, or the NMSQT, if you like all those letters, for our juniors in the fall. So if you are looking to practice, there are a lot of great websites out there that actually offer free practice tests. And we are also offering a class, and Ms. G sent an email out to all 10th and 11th grade families on March 29th, making you aware of that class. The first one will be held, I believe, at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday, April 13th. If you haven't checked that email from Miss G, please go find it back on March 29th with that information. The teacher who has offered these courses has said that if he gets too many students, he's happy to offer a second session. So I highly encourage our sophomores and our juniors to take advantage of that opportunity.
Perfect. And how do you think that students can get help or support from our SSC staff during this time? More specifically, the counselors, the assistant principals, regarding health, registrar, or attendance, or etc.
Absolutely. So all of us are answering emails, whether we are on site or not. Please be sure that if you are needing assistance, that you email the appropriate person. All of our names and our emails are on our website. So be sure that you are finding the right person to talk to. If you have a question about your attendance, you're going to want to talk to Ms. Wagster. If you have a concern about something that might be happening in one of your classes or with your grades, absolutely reach out to your counselor. If you are in need of support of any kind, especially with your mental health, please reach out to either your school counselor or your assistant principal or me. We do have CASI counseling support available to you, and if we hear from you that you are needing that help, we will absolutely connect you to the appropriate person for that. So please do contact us. We are answering email. We are available. We want to be here to support you during this time. We miss seeing all of you, getting to be on campus with you. None of us got into this business to be working with just adults. We got into this to be working with kids. So we miss you just as much as hopefully you miss us. And so whatever we can do to help you, we are here to do that.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Butler. I believe that wraps up all of our questions, and thank you to all of our viewers for viewing our first Q&A session. We hope that many of your questions were addressed, and if you have further questions, please use the link provided in the email from Ms. Butler, or you can find it on the COVID-19 page under About Us on the Lee website, and we will do our best to address them at our next Q&A session. And none of us expected to really be in this situation, but we really hope that you all are staying safe and healthy. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your afternoon.